Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And it was hot, windy, and dry around north central Washington today as we take a very dramatic and beautiful look outside our weather window from our jump-off ridge Sky-Fi tower camera. You can see in the middle of your screen, that's Wenatchee Heights rather. And that is where our cross camera is located right there in the middle of your screen. So this is just pulled back a little bit, and what a beautiful shot it is with some high and mid-level clouds out there. But I'll tell you, temperatures possibly record-setting today, and with those hot temperatures and winds, we are still under a red flag warning throughout much of north central Washington. You can see that includes Chelan and Douglas counties, also the cities of Wenatchee, Chelan, East Wenatchee, Plain, you're included, and points south and to our east. Fire danger very high with lots of wind, hot temperatures, and very low humidities. We will talk about the chances for more red flag warnings as we head into the upcoming weekend a little bit later on when we take a look at our weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A bear that confronted a jogger in Leavenworth's Enchantment Park last week was euthanized Wednesday by state wildlife officials. And the cherry harvest is now in full swing in Washington state. But first we begin tonight. If you hate roundabouts, you're going to love this story. East Wenatchee Mayor Steve Lacy says the city and the state have scrapped plans to build 2 roundabouts at both the intersections of 9th Street and Valley Mall Parkway and State Route 28 and 9th Street. The plans were put on hold earlier this year after the estimated cost exceeded engineers' initial estimates. Lacy says an updated DOT study shows signaled intersections make more sense from a cost standpoint than the roundabouts.
The city will be going forward with planning for a traffic signal at the bottom of 9th Street, and we will be coordinating with WashDOT about other changes that will be made between those 2 intersections, crosswalks, other issues that will be best for traffic flow and pedestrians and bike traffic through that area. So there's still decisions to be made, but at least we know we're going forward with signals.
Lacy says the 9th and Valley Mall Parkway signal project is estimated at $1.2 million. He says federal funds have already been secured. He says the signals at both intersections will be coordinated for smoother traffic flow. A bear that confronted a jogger in Leavenworth's Enchantment Park last week was euthanized Wednesday by state wildlife officials. Captain Mike Jewell of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife Police said the bear had a pattern of being aggressive toward humans and eating human-made food and likely would have returned to the area even if she had been relocated. On June 6th, the jogger jumped into the river as the bear approached. The bear was tranquilized in a tree near the park early Wednesday morning and then killed. Her 2 offspring, estimated at 16 to 18 months old, were captured and relocated to an undisclosed area. Jewell said it was unfortunate they had to kill the mother, but public safety was the first priority. The cherry harvest is now in full swing in Washington state. Growers expect to pick 24.3 million boxes of fruit this season. That, according to estimates from the Northwest Cherry Growers Association. Chelan County Commissioner Doug England says the state-run migrant camp at Monitor is now in full operation.
You can start seeing them on the tree now. You can start hearing helicopters and wind machines going on every time there's a little bit of sprinkle, trying to get the trees dry again. And as a result, the labor camp has started up. And again, as you remember, this is a state contract that we have, and it involves trying to provide a place for workers for that cherry harvest on a very short-term basis. And it's very well run out there, and it does provide a needed niche for the cherry growers that need a short-term labor supply.
Northwest cherry growers report that over 9 million boxes are expected to be shipped in June, with about 13.8 million in July and another 1.5 million in August. The Wenatchee World spoke with area fruit shipper McDougall & Sons, who reported they are receiving orders from Australia, China, Japan, and Korea. Coming up next, Steve Robinson, who's been executive director of Pybus Public Markets since its inception 7 years ago, is stepping down. The third annual Wenatchee Pride Festival is this Saturday at a new location, Lincoln Park in Wenatchee. And the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife public access at Peregrine Lake near Winthrop will be closed for a portion of next week for maintenance work. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
I found a doctor that I just really, really like, and his name is Nick Collins. I just like everything about him. But he's very thorough, but he's not intrusive at all, so he goes ahead and checks out things that somebody else might just let it go. Just about everything about him.
Welcome back. In another news, Steve Robinson, who's been executive director of Pybus Public Markets since its inception 7 years ago, is stepping down. Leslie Lepore Freetag, founder of the business consulting firm Freetag Group, will serve as transitional director of Pybus. Robinson was integral in the development and growth of Pybus from a former steel warehouse to a thriving marketplace. Robinson was praised by Pybus founder Mike Walker for his, quote, passion helping to bring our dream to reality, unquote. Lepore, who's been an extensive business background, will begin work on July 1st, and Robinson's last day will be August 15th. The third annual Wenatchee Pride Festival is this Saturday at a new location, Lincoln Park in Wenatchee. On Wednesday mornings, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Wenatchee Pride board member Eddie Chaidez told host Dan Kuntz the event has outgrown its previous venue, the Pybus Public Market.
Starting our first one, we had about 150, people show up, and then with the success that we had last year at Pybus Public Market, we had about 1,200 people, show up, and now at this big venue in Wenatchee at Lincoln Park, it's a great, beautiful space for us there, and we're anticipating at least 2,000 or more people. Yeah, so we're really excited.
Chaidez added the event is open to anyone who wants to feel and be accepted.
I think most of all, come and be there, and you'll see yourself be loved, supported, and the most amazing connections you'll ever feel. The most amazing, because sometimes it's your first, or sometimes it's one of the great things that I've been hearing is that there's more pride mentions in Wenatchee, so it's now bringing back those people that left because of the mentions that we've been hearing, all the hype that we've been hearing, and really getting out there in the community is really coming together and feeling that love, feeling that support.
The festival is free and runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife public access boat launch and parking area at Peregrine Lake near Winthrop will be closed next Monday through Wednesday, June 17th to 19th for maintenance work. Crews will be removing hazardous trees from around the parking areas and restrooms. Signs will be posted to notify the public of that closure. If the work is completed early, the access will reopen early. Those wishing to use Peregrine Lake for boating and other recreation activities can use facilities at the adjacent Peregrine Lake State Park. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson. Remember the good old days? Sunday supper at Grandma's and the best recipes being passed down through generations? Well, come on out to Blueberry Hills and find amazing food with huge portions at family-friendly prices. From Benedict's to burgers to fresh fruit pies, there is something for everyone. Don't miss Blueberry Hills, where you pick, you sip, you eat, and you visit. wildaboutberries.com.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. In tonight's features story, NCW Life magazine producer Caitlin Hedershe takes us behind the scenes of Icicle Brewing Company's new brewing facility just off the Chumstick Highway to learn more about their growth and a breakthrough with CO2 recapture technology.
Dean Priebe has been brewing beer at Icicle Brewing Company for just over 10 years. He says his start in brewing beer is similar to many who dabble in the craft.
Well, I took the path that many head brewers and brewers in the United States take, in that I started in brewing with home brewing. And through enjoyment of home brewing and a learning, it just made me thirsty for more. So I took some classes and did a lot of online learning. I was lucky enough to do an internship at Pike Brewing Company, and that landed me the job here at Icicle Brewing Company. Washington State has over 400 craft breweries, and none of them are the same. They all make different beers, and they all do it in different ways. Here at Icicle Brewing Company, we've had a focus on American-style beers and German-style beers. The German, of course, because of our Leavenworth town's theme, Bavarian theme.
Priebe says he develops recipes in collaboration with other brewers, a team of 5 in addition to a packaging crew of 4. Dean says he helped design the original brewing setup and knew a production space was in the cards for Icicle Brewing down the line.
From the day we opened, we were planning on the next tank or the next piece of equipment we would add. Recently, we had a brewer head off to another job after 5 years, and I put together a list of all the changes that happened during his 5 years, and every year we were adding equipment or adding capacity. And at some point we just ran out of room here at the pub and needed another place to add more equipment, and that's what our production brewery is out there. We are able to add more tasting and taproom area here at our existing pub by removing all that equipment that was taking up space. We are putting in a smaller brew system here, so we still will be brewing here. That smaller system will actually allow us to brew new beers every week. With the bigger system, we will brew larger quantities of our popular, more widely distributed beers, but we should be able to offer a lot more variety here at the pub.
So what about that CO2 recapture unit? Dean says obtaining the equipment was a major breakthrough for the brewery.
Just recently, a small company, Earthly Labs, has created a small CO2 capture equipment for brewers our size. It's very exciting. It's something that I've been watching since even before I got into commercial brewing, which is the ability to capture CO2. When you are fermenting beer, yeast is converting sugars to primarily alcohol and CO2, and that CO2 comes off of your vessel and just goes into the air. And yet we use CO2 in the cellaring and packaging process for carbonation, for pushing beer, for packaging beer in a way that keeps it fresh. And we actually have to buy that CO2. So it seems ridiculous that we are creating tons of CO2 and then we're buying it. This way we are able to actually capture the CO2 that we create and reuse it, which seems simple, but it's a pretty complicated process, and for the last few decades it's only been the largest brewers with lots and lots of money that have been able to afford these large-scale pieces of equipment. We are the first ones in Washington State doing this.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get into those details, why not? Let's take a peek outside our weather window, this time from our jump-off ridge Sky-Fi Tower camera. Looking towards, there's Wenatchee Heights and our cross camera located there in the Wenatchee Valley in the background. We did see some high-level and even some mid-level clouds out there today, but boy, it sure didn't keep our temperatures down much, that's for sure. We were well above normal today and borderlining record high temperatures around many locations in North Central Washington. Unofficially here in Wenatchee, 92 degrees, 95 as you can see is our record high today, so just below that. That was set in 1974. 78 our normal high temperature, so 14 degrees above where we should be today. Look at the start to our day, 69 degrees. Heck, at 8 o'clock this morning it was 80 degrees in most locations in the Wenatchee Valley. 55 is our normal low, 43 our record low, and that was set back in 1991. Sunrise this morning at 5:04 and the sunset tonight will be at 8:58. Let's take a look now at what we can expect over the next 7 days at our surface loop. Mostly clear tonight. We'll stay with some windy conditions. It didn't quite get as windy today as we thought it would, but still plenty of breeze out there. Northwest tonight 15 to 25 miles an hour. Very mild for Friday. Slightly cooler than our 90s today. We'll see upper 80s tomorrow. Breezy as well. Northwest 10 to 15 miles an hour, but this area of high pressure is still off the coast of Oregon and Washington. Our weather driver right now as we move into Saturday, sunny skies, light winds. We're going to stay unseasonably warm. Remember, the orange and red colors indicate 90s and even 100-degree temperatures. Gold, that's in the 70s back to our west. For Father's Day on Sunday, but by all means get out there and enjoy it. Mostly sunny. It will be on the hot side though, with temperatures climbing back into the low 90s for Sunday. On Monday, sunny. We'll see slightly cooler temperatures. Notice our high temperature, our ridge beginning to flatten out a little bit as this area of low pressure comes down from the Gulf of Alaska. That flattens out the ridge and will bring us some cooler temperatures. In fact, much cooler by Tuesday. We will see sunny skies then. You can tell by our temperature map, even some greens now, which indicates some 50-degree temperatures. We'll be back down in the lower 80s on Monday. Same goes for, Tuesday, and the same goes for Wednesday with sunny skies and back to normal temperatures. Won't it feel nice with highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight we will drop down. Once again, it'll be a mild one at 62 degrees. 86 our high for Thursday. Let's just jump to Friday. I think that's our wrong map. Sunny and warmer for Friday. 89 degrees. We'll see 90 on Saturday. About 88 for Sunday. 81 the high temperature on Monday, and we'll see 81 as high on Tuesday with sunny skies and mild conditions. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Hi everyone, this is Brent Crowder. After 13 years with the Town Auto Group, I have returned home to Town Toyota where it all started. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, let me help you find the right one at the right price. Toyota is reliable and trustworthy, and you can count on me to be the same. When it comes to buying your next car, you can't go wrong with Toyota and Crowder. Ask for Brent at Town Toyota or call me now at 888-5000.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday. The Wenatchee Apple Sox snapped a 6-game losing streak with a 14-7 win over Port Angeles last night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Although it didn't look good early, as the fourth pitch of the game was smacked over the left field wall by the lefties' Charlie Nasuti. The visitors would plate 2 runs in that first frame, but Wenatchee would have an answer in the bottom half of the inning on a 2-run double by Blake Klassen. Port Angeles grabbed the lead back in the second, would hold a 3-2 advantage until the floodgates opened for Wenatchee in the fifth. Apple Sox would score 7 runs in the inning, highlighted by the bat of right fielder Tyler Detloff. The lefties would score 4 in the 6th inning, but Wenatchee answered with 1 in the 7th, 4 more in the 8th for the 14-7 win. The victory also the Apple Sox 400th West Coast League win in team history. There you go. Detloff ended up 3 for 5 on the night with 3 runs and 3 RBIs. Owen Leonard worked 2 innings of relief to earn the victory, allowing 4 runs on 3 hits with 2 walks and a couple of strikeouts. Wenatchee could earn the series win with the finale tonight at 6:35 when they send James Kulak to the mound to face Port Angeles' Cade Meckles. Also on the Les Schwab scoreboard in West Coast League play last night, Derek Marshall Jr. had a 2-run home run. Bellingham beat the Cowlitz Black Bears 10-1 at Joe Martin Field. The Bells will go for the sweep tonight. Mark, here we go. Here's a name for you. Mark Wanovich. There you go. Pitched 5 scoreless innings of one-hit ball in relief to help Yakima Valley to a 4-2 win over Victoria. Tanner Parker also drove in 2 runs as the Pippins improved to 6-1. Michael Hicks and Dominic Enbody each had 3 hits as Ridgefield continued its inaugural season dominance in an 8-1 win over Portland. The Raptors improved to 6-2 with the victory. Updating the standings in the West Coast League's North Division, there you have it. Yakima Valley, a game and a half lead over Port Angeles and Bellingham. Victoria, 3 games back and forth. Wenatchee and Kelowna, 4.5 games out of first place. For the 3rd game in a row, Seattle's bullpen couldn't back up a good outing by a starter for the Mariners. They fell to Minnesota today by a final of 10-5. UC Kikuchi went 5 strong innings, allowing 1 run on 6 hits with 4 strikeouts. His only run allowed was a solo home run to former Mariner Nelson Cruz. He went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs on the day. Daniel Vogelbach was 2 for 4 with an RBI double. Kyle Seager contributed a double among his 2 hits. Going back to last night, Seattle's bullpen squandered a 6-1 8th inning lead, but then Minnesota's defense gave it right back, committing 3 errors in the 10th. Mariners won that one 9-6 at Target Field. Shed Long hit his first career home run, a 3-run shot in Seattle's 5-run 8th. Daniel Vogelbach also went 4 for 5 with a solo home run, his 17th of the season. Mariners used an opening pitcher again with Gerson Bautista, lasting an inning and a third with no runs. Former Apple Sox Tommy Malone then came on, going 6 innings, allowing 3 runs on 4 hits with 6 strikeouts. Seattle now heads for Oakland to begin a 3-game weekend series with the A's tomorrow. Marco Gonzalez on the mound facing Chris Bassett at 6:37, strange start time. Also, American League West play last night. Back to the Les Schwab scoreboard. Ramon Laureano's grand slam home run in the top of the 8th was the difference. Oakland topped Tampa Bay 6-2. Mookie Betts earned a bases-loaded walk-off walk in the bottom of the 9th as Boston beat Texas 4-3. Mike Moustakas' 2-run home run highlighted a 3-run 14th as Milwaukee topped Houston 6-3 at Minute Maid Park. Well, the Seahawks wrapped up their 3-day minicamp today at the VMAC in Renton. Coach Pete Carroll says one of the highlights of this camp and offseason is kicker.
Both of our opportunities to end these sessions have been come down to a tie, last play, last second kick, and which just highlighted the consistency that Jason Myers showed for us. He did a great job throughout this offseason. We were really fortunate to have him. Just consistency was really there, and leg power and all that. Working together with Michael and Tyler Rott, those guys did a great job. So we're that move that we made to get him, I think, is going to work out great for us, and it's going to give us the confidence to utilize the kicker like you'd hope to. And crucial situations, long balls when we got to go for it. We're gonna be playing with a lot of confidence in that regard. So.
Seahawks now off till late July when they'll start training camp. The first game, preseason game, is August 10th against Denver. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Looking out into the water, and what I saw was a small hood, looked like a cone, and it in fact was her hood. Floating on the water, going through my mind was, I hope she's in that jacket.
I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We got news, we got sports, we got weather, we got obscure holiday, today in history, and birthdays. Those actresses from the 70s that I had a huge crush on: Lindsay Wagner, Jane Russell, Meryl Streep, Barbara Bush. Wanted to wish her a happy birthday. It gave me an excuse to throw her picture up on my show. Exclusive distributors. of Life Water. Now available in the shatterproof plastic bottle.
Wake up Wenatchee Valley. Mornings at 7 o'clock on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
I'm Jim Corcoran.
And I'm Ken Osborne.
And you're watching the NCWLIFE channel.